Okay, guys. So, try something new today. I had bought these cards. And they come with envelopes and everything. They're plain white. And I'm just going to kind of set them to the side somewhere. So I've taken one card and one envelope out. The cards are pretty much cardstock. They're already folded. They're already done the way you need them. I would suggest a ruler for this, but I can't find mine right now. We moved. So I'm going to use a popsicle stick that I used to stir with because it has a flat edge and that's really all I need. So the flat edge, full-sized, will be perfect for the long part of the card. And then I pre-measured lines for the side of the card that I'll cut my piece to where I still get a nice white border all the way around. Just set that somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to do this several ways. But today we're just going to use, I had did a pour and I wanted to do a dip, and I had took a piece of the wax paper and I had just put it down on top of the pour and then pulled up to do the dip. And this is what I got, and it was really beautiful, but because it was so thin, it can't be peeled up. And it stuck to the, I guess, the wrong side of the paper, parchment paper, wax paper, whatever. So it won't come up. It's stuck on this paper. And I thought this would be a good test to see if I could make this stick on the card or if I just have to have plain skins that I've peeled off with nothing on the back. I do know that I can use this for the jewelry making, so I'm wondering if I can also use it for the card making. So this is the beautiful skin. It's got metallics and everything in it. There are some cells. So first thing I want to do is just take the card for a guesstimate and decide what section I want. So I'm going to turn this and just decide which section I want because I have not predetermined that. I like that, but I also like that. Okay. So I think we're going to use this area because it does have quite a few cells and it's not too girly. Because I'm going to use this first card that I'm doing as a practice card for Bill's birthday card. I do have a wooden mat down just so I can press because I can't really press on the canvas. And then I have one of these plastic mats. It's kind of like a placemat, but it's good to cut against, or you can use Mod Podge, and if it gets stuck to it, it easily cleans off so you don't have a lumpy surface. So I'm using that just as a surface. So I know kind of the area I want to cut now, and I know I need to do it roughly this long by that wide to those 2 points. So I'm just going to kind of measure it out where I want to do it. Guess I need to do the wide part first so I know what it'll cover. I think I like this right here. Okay. And then I'm going to do the long, which just goes to the point. A ruler really would be best, or something that you can make sure you're getting exact lines. But this is what I have, so this is what I'm using. Okay, and then this one's going to go from line to line. I'm actually going to do the top line so that I can make sure better that it's lined up. And it's not going to be perfect, but we'll see. It should be pretty close. Okay, so that should match up to those two lines. then I should just be able to draw a line and it should meet. And it does. So it should be pretty straight. Hopefully, that's the goal. Then I'm going to cut it out, but I'm going to do it in a manner where I don't ruin other sections that I feel like I use. So I'll come over here to this edge because that's the section that's not as usable. And it doesn't have to be exact the first cutout because I can always trim it up. But I want to be as exact as I can get. And these are this one's really thin, so this one may turn out a little different than it would turn out if I had done it just a straight skin. Because this one, again, is very thin. I'm traveling right along the line to make it as even as possible. I do think maybe when I do it with skins that I will maybe use an X-Acto knife or maybe get one of those cutting boards that cuts the exact line that you measure out. But again, this is my first go at this, and this is pretty much a test run, so I'm not going to be too very super crazy about it. So this is our piece, and it's probably as close to even as it will get. So before I do any gluing or anything, I'm going to decide this is going to be the front of the card. And I want to, and see, I should have done it a little longer. But it's a test card, so it'll work. I just prefer for all the edges to be the same width. But in this case, I can always turn it this way, and I can always write happy and birthday. Or whatnot. But this is a good practice one. So, gluing or attachment options. The E6000 glue is a good option for heavier things, like the glass for the jewelry and stuff. But it doesn't smooth out flat. So if you do something like this, you would get lumps. And we know that from the embellishment I did on the piece where I added Neptune. So we know that that's not the best option. Then of course you have glue. But I am going to use a Mod Podge because if it does get out the edges at all, then it's not going to be too bad because I can just Mod Podge over the whole top of it and then it's not going to show. Which the few people that I have watched do this have not done anything over the top. They haven't varnished it, they haven't Mod Podge, they've literally just put the skins on and left it. And I don't know if I trust that because I feel like if you don't cover the edges from the top that they're going to eventually peel, and if I'm going to sell a card to somebody, I don't think I really want that as an issue. So we're going to see. So, let me grab one of these brushes. And I'm just using the regular foam brushes. I actually got this pack at Dollar Tree for $1. So, just a regular foam brush. And I'm just going to flip it to the back. Make sure my surface is clean. And this is the Gloss Mod Podge. And I'm just going to stick it in and get a little, because I'm not doing anything where paints or anything would get contaminated. And so I just want to cover it, all of the edges completely, even if that means that I get some over on this board, because again, remember it's a plastic board, I can wipe it off. So you want to make sure all the edges are covered all the way, because I don't want the edges folding up. That's just something I don't want to have to worry about. And then I'm just going to pick it up carefully and carefully place it as centered as possible. Another reason that a ruler would come in handy. Don't think that's centered. Yeah, so this one's not going to be perfect. I'm going to need a ruler and everything else to make these look more professional. But of course, this is a practice and this is for Bill, so he's not going to care. He's probably just going to trash it anyway. He doesn't tend to keep cards and stuff of that nature. So yeah, it's very off. It's not centered. I'm not happy with that, but I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to take the stick and just kind of smooth it out. I wish I could say I could be more precise with it, but of course with no way to measure, I'm not going to be. I'm not going to call it a fail because it's still on there. And it's actually pretty smoothed out on there. I'm wondering if I can pull it back up and reposition it, which I can. Looky there, that was easy. I don't know that you could do that with an actual skin, but that looks more centered, right? And then what I'll do is I'll just Mod Podge over the top of it, which I was planning on doing anyway. The only issue with that is I would worry about the streaks, but Mod Podge tends to dry clear anyway, so probably won't see the streaks. But this is a good way to find out. Good way to test it for you guys. And yeah, I know I just pulled it 2 different ways, but I'm going to go back over it and go all one way. Okay. I'll sit that there for just a... Well, I was going to sit that there for a moment. Okay, so... it's not quite centered, but that one's straight. And these 2 sides are straight, so I cut it a little crooked evidently. But yeah, so I'm going to let that set and dry for a moment. It's not going to take it too very long to dry. I don't know if it's going to dry on this video or not, but while I'm letting it dry, I'm going to show you guys. I also ordered these cute little clear bags from Clear Bags Be Seen. It's clearbags.com. And I ordered them a size up from the envelope because the card's one size, the envelope's slightly larger. And then you want, if you're going to display them for sale, you want the bags to be slightly larger. I also got bags with a strip on the top that you can seal. So this bag is going to be a test bag just so you can see. So you pull the strip off after you put the stuff in. But for now, since I don't have a card made, I'm just going to slide the envelope in so that you can see it. And then you just pull it to the right size. And then it's sealed. And of course, I would pull it down tighter or leave a little extra at the top and probably put a hole punch so I could hang them. And the card would be in front of the envelope so that you could see it. But then that way it's protected and it's nice and neat for somebody that wants to purchase it. The other thing I plan on doing with these is I want to feed the actual cards through my printer and put my logo or my business name on the back and put created by. And as you can tell, these are already drying. So you can still see some of the Mod Podge, but a good bit of it is already drying. So it really isn't going to take long for that process to be done. And then the ones that I would sell, which is going to be a while from now because I need to figure it out and make sure I can get it straight and it looks good. One lady even made a template. She made like a cardboard template of the exact size she wants, and then she just lays it down on the pour and traces around it, or X-Acto knives around it. So that's another option. Or you could just pour straight onto these cards, but I would worry about overage going into the inside or something, and you know, that could be a mess. So those are my plans, and that's kind of just a brief example, but we will try to test it out better soon. So let me know what you guys think.